Hi, Capricorn, or anyone watching for Capricorn. I'm pulling some cards to see what comes out for love and general messages. Bottom of your deck, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is good. Why are you so tired? Maybe you guys are working a lot right now. I feel like you're exhausted, but things seem like they're going well, right? It seems like your finances are looking pretty good. You could maybe just have a lot of people like asking you for help at this time in your life because it seems like you guys are very stable, or you have a tendency to like be the one who's always reliable, right? You might need to set some boundaries about how much you give to other people because it feels like you're burning yourselves out at this time. Queen of Wands in the reverse for your obstacle. So it feels like things are changing for you if you've been stuck in a bit of a rut. But the hard part is it feels like there's some things that are coming up that you just are not interested in doing or don't want to do. And I feel like you're maybe not expressing that to people at this time. You know, for some of you, this is just like you're working really hard because you want to get a promotion, or you're burning the candle at both ends because you actually want to leave where you are. And so for some of you, it's like you're an entrepreneur and you're working on your business at night and then working during the day. Or you're a student and you're trying to like moonlight, right? There's an energy here of being fearful about not having enough. But with the Wheel of Fortune, it's interesting to me because you guys are on your way to quite a bit of wealth if you haven't already started to see the fruits of your labor. It could be too, with this Queen of Wands in the reverse, that you have someone who is not pulling their weight. And I feel like that's something that you're going to have to probably put the kibosh on because it's stressing you out and it's making you tired, but it's also taking away from your joy, right? It almost feels like there's a burden that you're carrying for someone else. Perhaps you're a single parent, or maybe you have like a lot of people that count on you, like I said, but there's people that have really high like demands about how a specific thing should be, but then it feels like they don't take action to like show up and help make that happen. So teamwork makes the dream work, right? It's not just your job to do everything for everyone. It might be time for you to start putting your foot down, letting people know like this is a boundary for me. I don't have the time, right? The word no is actually self-care. It's not selfish. It feels like you've put things on hold, perhaps to help out this Queen of Wands in the reverse, or you're putting everything that you really, really want on the back burner because you feel like there's things that you have to do first. So as far as the relationship, you know, for some of you, you're not putting yourself first. You don't feel like you're able to be in the relationship you want. Maybe you're committed somewhere else and it's a burden or a hassle and you wish you could leave, but you can't, right? It feels like someone is blocking your exit with whatever this is. And I just want you guys to be careful about trying to please someone enough that you hope that they'll give in to what you want. Because oftentimes when you're doing a bunch and you're showing people how much of an asset you are, they're not going to let you go, right? This could be someone who is like a family member that's jealous of you, or that like always needs help. Maybe you have a demanding, aging parent here that's just running you ragged. The universe, though, is got the Hierophant for their card for you, your Ace of Cups. So it's like, for some reason, you're having to take time to really kind of stare at your commitments, because I feel like there's things in your life that you're committed to that don't resonate with you anymore. But maybe you move so fast or you've got so much on your plate that you haven't been able to really check in with yourself, right? Now would be a really good time for some self-assessment. Am I taking the actions I need to get me where I want to go? Do I still even want to go where I'm trying to go? Have I changed so much that what I'm doing doesn't even resonate with me anymore? But because I'm so busy, I can't take the time to see that, right? Sometimes we have a tendency of like getting so caught up in the routine of things or in the way that people expect us to show up that we don't take the time to stop and think like, does this really resonate with me? Is this even who I am anymore? Maybe I was at one point, but am I now, right? For some of you, this is a call for you to go back to school or to just take that leap to start your own company. You know, if you're always working overtime or if you're working multiple jobs and you still don't feel like you can make ends meet, or you're in jobs that you hate, it might be time to, take one of those jobs and replace it with a career, start going to school for something. Because with this Hierophant, you could be called to be leveling up in a way where you're getting more education, you're becoming the head of a company, you're opening your own company, or maybe, right, if you have a bunch of extended family, and I'm saying extended like mom, dad, sister, brother, it might be a time to tell these people you're ready to have your own family, right? Maybe you can't always show up to be the one that takes mom to church because you'd like to date and you'd like to be able to sleep in with your significant other, right? It's like there's something here that if you could just take that one thing and move it over, delegate it to someone else, right? Or maybe just get rid of it altogether, you would feel so much better. So I feel like right now it's time for a change, right? It's time for you to start laying some new ground rules and to see where your morals and your values lie with you right now, not who you used to be. Because I feel like in the past, you had a tendency to put everything you wanted on the back burner for everyone around you, right? So for some of you, it could even be that you're like a first generation from like people who immigrated here. And so they're like, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer. And you're like, cool, whatever, fine, right? I owe it to you guys. There's a feeling of obligation here, like somebody is holding something over your head. Maybe you had a single parent that worked really hard to take care of you, but now they're just so enmeshed in your life that you can't move sideways, because this is you kind of dreaming of something else, wanting something else for yourself, but feeling like you're lacking the control to be able to make that happen. And what I'll say about that is that's actually an illusion, okay? This is just more about you having to not only get in touch with yourself, but probably have some uncomfortable conversations, because it feels like there's a lot of things that need to be said here that perhaps you're not saying because you don't really want to rock the boat, or you don't want to seem ungrateful, or perhaps it's just your role to be like the oldest child that always shows up, right? Or something along those lines. Now, in regards to love, this is different, because I feel like there's something that you're still trying to fix, but it seems like whoever you're dealing with is working against you, or you can't tell what they want, right? For some of you, there's a person in your life that has a tendency to try to make you jealous. And I think that's because whatever this was like a situationship. It's looking to me like it was not defined, it was not committed. And so this person and you probably take turns doing this from what I'm seeing. You have a tendency to kind of put each other through it to test how much you care about each other, right? To test what the connection is doing, or like, oh, are they mad that I posted someone else on my Instagram story? You know what I'm saying? And so it feels like the two of you kind of play this weird game where you almost like piss each other off to see a reaction. And then that's how you gauge how much you mean to one another. What I think is weird about this, though, is that it feels like you or the person you're dealing with, or both of you, don't want to be with anyone else. You're not looking for anyone else at this time, right? So I'm a little bit confused as to why the two of you like have a tendency to try to trigger one another when it feels like you don't want to be with anyone else, right? Is it just like you're both afraid or too prideful to really let your guard down and say what you mean or tell the other person what you want? Because with Queen of Wands in the reverse, this is somebody who they want to control the situation, but it's like more out of the need to not be vulnerable, to always be the one that's desired, to have the upper hand. So this feels like kind of a reoccurring theme between you and your love interest, right? What I think is interesting for you, Capricorn, is that you're actually moving into a space where you're tired of this dynamic. You're like taking the break, but you're also not wanting to return to that dynamic. And I think because you're having a really difficult time figuring out how you could change that into something else, you're actually thinking like, maybe it is time to do something new, right? For some of you, you are thinking about doing something with someone else simply because this is beginning to feel like it's never going to transform into anything but what it is. And you're just getting really tired of feeling like you're doing the same thing over and over with this. And it doesn't ever turn into anything, right? For others of you, this is something that this person could have come back into your life, or you could have come back into their life, and you're both kind of tired, but you're watching each other from a distance, trying to kind of assess like, what's the next move, right? I see you want something serious. I see this person, let's see what they want, because they're just being kind of weird. I feel like this person isn't really doing anything. Okay, so this person doesn't want the situation to be over, but if you feel like this person is trying to trigger you intentionally, I think that they are, because there's an energy here of them feeling like they want you to understand that they have options, right? Or that you're an option. And I think that that's coming from them feeling rejected. That's what I was going to say. They want you to be the one to make the first, like, hey, I really want to be with you. And so they're not going about it in a very great way, because Queen of Wands in the reverse is oftentimes very immature. This is somebody who would have the tendency to make it seem like they're not available to you, or like you should have to work really hard to like get their attention, right? You're done with it. You're tired of that dynamic. I think you realize that you love this person. And what I like about this is that you have leveled up. And that's probably what that Wheel of Fortune is actually about in regards to love, because you're realizing like, I want this to change. I'm not sure what to do about it, but I also see the dynamic for what it is, and I'm not going to keep feeding into it. I want to do something else. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but I also am not going to like keep doing this, because I see what it's creating and I see what this person is doing. And then rather than do it back, I'm going to let them win, right? I'm going to let them win. If they don't do something different, I'm going to call it, this is going to be over, because now I want a relationship. I'm open to love. What I think you don't realize is the universe is actually trying to bring that to you, but it's almost like it was giving the both of you the time to figure out how you wanted to move the next time you come into one another's space, because you got your Queen of Wands reversed, your King of Wands reversed. So it's like the two of you had to have time apart. This is actually, I feel like this could actually do something, like go somewhere. Yeah, because there's going to be a opportunity for the two of you to discuss what you want. But as far as your advice, it's like if you want something different, show up different. And that might feel a little bit risky, because you don't for sure know that you're going to have the upper hand if you move different in this dynamic. But at least you'll be creating something new, right? It's like you're going to forge a new path that this person can either follow suit, or they can keep doing this like cat and mouse game, and then you'll know that this isn't the person for you, right? All right, let's get you some Oracle love messages and see what we find out. I mean, I think you could save this if you wanted to, but it really is kind of like you having to take the first step. Because if you haven't been talking to this person for a while, they may not know who you are. Like they might not have known that you've changed, or that you're like, you know what, I'm tired. I just want somebody I can come home to. Maybe they're still in the mode of thinking that it's like how it always is. You get what I mean? All right. So you got imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities in your life. So very nice, because literally once you start showing up different, I feel like everything will change, you know, whether it's in love or just in all the other areas of your life. Wow, you got time. You're trying too hard. Give it time. You guys, I feel like, are really kind of at this point in your life where something is going to have to change, because you're just in this space of feeling tired, you know, just feeling like maybe you're being stretched in too many different ways, or you're fed up with people's behavior around you. So don't feed into patterns that you don't like. Don't reward behavior that sucks, right? When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. So like I said, if you can stay in that energy of like, I love this person, this is who I want to come home to, or I at least want to see if this person could like have a relationship. I want to talk about that. It doesn't matter if I look like the person who's being weak. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. I just want to understand the situation better. Is this going anywhere, right? Bottom of the deck, new beginning, a new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. So you got to go after what you want, right? And, you know, if this person can't get on your level once you change the rules of the game, that's okay too, because that just means they're clearing out and there's space for you to actually get the Ace of Cups that you want instead of dealing with situations that are just making you tired. All right, you got employment change, as did Sagittarius, I want to say. I think. Yeah. Okay. So it says your career path is leading you in a higher direction with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you release the old and welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way. So make sure that you're allowing the universe to support you, right? But also, like I said, it looks like there's some kind of career change that needs to happen or will be happening to you soon, because you're starting to align with who you are more. So your environment will also change. You have boundaries, set boundaries, protect your precious time and energy. Wow, yeah, we kind of talked about that, right? And with this person, you know, for those of you who are interested in love, if you're saying like, hey, I want a relationship and they're still acting squirrely, might be time to set a boundary with them too. Like, please don't text me in the evening because I'm trying to meet a real one, and that looks weird if I'm on a date and I'm getting texts from you, right? Oh my goodness, you got rest. You've been working hard, take a nap and get some rest. I second that. All right, Capricorn, this has been your message. Thank you for allowing me to read for all of you, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye. Yeah.